11, 2020 marks the 19th commemoration of the very attack that changed our nation. I speak for all Americans. 9/11 changed our world and nation.
Our way of life was attacked, life that embraces freedom and democracy, our hard work and perseverance, and our sense of selflessness and generosity.
Though it has been 19 years, 19 long years, we'll always remember those who took the sacrifice and challenged their fate in that very moment. They are gone, but they're not forgotten.
My name is Seaman James Sanders of the United States Navy, and I was only a baby for 9/11, but I've heard stories from my family. My mother told me how she collapsed just holding me and watching the news, and my stepdad telling me the stories of when he was in New York City for the attacks. And 9/11 is one of the greatest tragedies to ever occur to our great nation. Thousands died and monumental symbols of our republic destroyed or extremely damaged. But it's important we don't just remember all the thousands that died in the attacks of September 11th. It's important to remember what we gained the next day. On September 12, 2001, America was so united in a way it hasn't been in decades. And in our current time of such deep division in our country, it's crucial that we never forget what we could be. People have tried before to bring this country to its knees, just like Al-Qaeda did on September 11th. But just as always, we only stood up stronger, because that's what Americans do.
Ever since the attack on 9/11 happened, it has become our duty to remember those who lost their lives that day. This tragic event that will continue to live on in history goes out to all the victims who are affected by it. And as we remember the innocent lives that were taken, we also take this time to forever honor the ones who gave their lives. We thank you. We will never forget.
This is Cadet Captain Jamal Williams, the Director of Personnel Affairs at Pearsall High School, Texas 2001. Thank you. For 9/11 this year, we'll be giving our tribute towards all of the men and women who lost their lives. Today we'll be interviewing 3 sheriff's deputies for Frio County Sheriff's Department.
My name is John Rodriguez. I am the captain here at the Frio County Sheriff's Office. I've been with this agency going on 4 years now, approximately 4 years. Not too sure how furthermore the introduction needs to be. This year is a lieutenant. You can explain to himself.
My name is Jonathan Esquivel. I've been with the department going on 5 years. I also have a K-9 partner.
I'm Sergeant Reyes Leal. I've been with the department for 6 years.
Hi, I'm Cassandra Dubos. I am the VP of Nursing and Clinical Operations.
My name is Thomas Grimmer. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for Frio Regional Hospital and Frio Hospital District.
Hello, my name is Luis Barrera. Everybody calls me Lab. I'm the District Supervisor, Paramedic for Allegiance.
Priscilla De La Rosa. I'm an EMT and I'm his partner.
Where were you during 9/11 when it happened, and how does that impact the job, knowing that anything can happen at any moment?
So during 9/11, I was still in grade school, I believe, middle school, I'm not too sure exactly. I believe first grade I don't recall the whole events as it occurred, honestly, because I was a little younger at the time. But during coming out throughout the time, with the years that's passing by, the anniversaries every 10 years of how they do it, it does play an impact in the role as a law enforcement officer. The fellow people that we lost, the citizens, the law enforcement, any and all first responders that we lost, to this terroristic act. It does devastatingly puts an impact on our roles in law enforcement.
During 9/11, I was actually home. I was a student in college, and the TV was on, and I woke up to the second plane hitting the Twin Towers. That's where I was. And I was a nursing student at that time, and the way I feel that it impacts nursing and the hospital is emergency preparedness. The mass casualty and inundated resources at the hospital goes through during a tragedy. Like 9/11 is how the hospital is impacted, and that we're always in a state of readiness.
I'm assuming I was in class. I don't remember. Him and I are like the same age. What I can say about 9/11 is that when we are in need, everybody can come together, help each other. Also remember everybody that passed away, firefighters, policemen, everybody that was in the building. Like I said, when people are in need, we can all come together and help each other out.
Well, I was at work. It was, I think it was a Tuesday morning, and it was a beautiful day in San Antonio. And a lady I worked with said that her mother was watching the news, and a small plane had crashed into a building in New York. And so that was before the internet, before real-time news and all of that. And so we're just trying to take it all in, and then it just became more and more serious, and realized it wasn't a small plane, but it was two large jets, and that it was just a very serious situation. And so I just remember being at work that day and hearing it. And so it's just important to remember it, because everything changed that day, sort of like how everything's changing right now under COVID-19. It's just, there's the before and the after. And so I felt much safer prior to that, and after that I didn't feel quite as safe, and just learned to appreciate everybody, and each day is a gift, and you need to make it count.
I am a couple years older than these guys, so I believe I don't know if I was in junior high or the intermediate, but I remember they pulled us out of class. Everybody was in the hallways, kind of like a tornado drill thing at the time. Had us in the class, and I think they even let us out early, if I remember correctly. We I guess waited after the towers were hit to see if anything else was going to happen, the towers and the Pentagon. And then I remember them saying, like, they were worried about San Antonio, because San Antonio, they call it the military city, So they were worried about somebody trying to strike San Antonio area. So, like I said, if I remember correctly, we got out early. Our parents came and picked us up from the school. And, I mean, it was scary at the time. We were young. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't really know what a terroristic threat was. And over the years, it just takes you growing up to be able to, I guess, comprehend what happened that day, how many people were lost, how selfless the firefighters and first responders were to go into a building, trying to get to the very top to save people, even then they, I'm sure, knew in their heads that, the building was going to come down and they're more than likely going to be trapped in there. So even though it happened at a young age, over the years, we're still thinking about it at the anniversary of 9/11, and try to comprehend and remember those that have fallen.
I was actually in high school, and I was specifically in health class. I remember that for some reason. And I just remember when all that stuff came out in the morning, and like they put it on our TVs at that time. And how did it impact me? Well, I mean, at that point, it didn't have a great impact on my life. I just knew that it was something that was happening in the U.S., and it was something that was pretty devastating for the whole nation. And that's what I remember, where it was, how it impacted me at that time.
As far as me, I was a year old, so I wasn't really too aware of what was going on or whatever, how it would later impact our lives.
And the picture shows a man jumping off one of the towers. The picture is known as the Falling Man, which was taken by Richard Drew. Unfortunately, to many people, they thought they had no hope to survive this and took their own life. And over 300 firefighters went missing or lost their lives on this horrible day. And for their brave sacrifice, we will forever be thankful for their services.
Our next question is, why is it important to remember 9/11?
I mean, it's something that you never want to forget. I mean, it goes back to the first responders that we all lost there, sacrificing their lives for the citizens of the city, state, where we resided. I mean, it's more of like a act of heroism on our part. I mean, it just shows how much that we put our lives on the line every day for people who we don't know, we may never see. We might see them one time, or we might see them multiple times. It's just the fact that we got to make sure we're out there to keep the public safe and try to save everybody's life as we can as we go.
I think it's important to remember 9/11, always, whether you're in the hospital or not, to remember that we're always vulnerable. We we work day to day trying to do the daily stuff and keep on top of emergency preparedness. I say emergency preparedness because at all times, sometimes we can lose focus, thinking that what we do is, we do a baseline, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and that we should always be ready for those sort of events that happen, and mitigating, you know, our analysis of vulnerability in the hospital, you know, to be able to take a mass towel or utilize resources that we take for granted, thinking outside the box, and especially working in the rural environment. We already are faced with challenges with limited access to care and resources. So I think 9/11 really, it stands high on a priority list for me, because we can always be better at what we do and be ready for
It's
events.
important to remember it because of the people that died that day and how everything changed, and just to appreciate everybody more and to remember them for their sacrifices and how we all came together and helped each other.
Important because when it happened, it was a big devastation for the nation. I think it created a lot of unity. Like it united all of pretty much every single person in the United States. In our field, I think it made us more aware of what could happen and how to prepare for that kind of situations like that. On the EMS side, on the fire side, police side, and all that stuff. So that kind of impacted that as far as like getting prepared for some situation like that. We can't obviously tell the future when it's going to happen again, but I think we can actually prepare ourselves nowadays to situations like that. I think that's how it impacted.
It's definitely changed communication. When 9/11 happened, there was little to no communication between the fire department, police department. People that were sitting at home knew so much more, were better informed of what was going on than the people that were actually responding to that. Communication has changed. The way we prepare for mass casualty incidents has also changed too. Because of that event, it's changed like EMS and how we organize for big events like that altogether.
Since the attack on the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001, we have held the day as a day to remember all those who lost their lives and those who sacrificed their lives to save others. By remembering 9/11, we will forever keep those who sacrificed their lives and those who lost their lives in our hearts.
On behalf of Pearsall High School, Texas 2001 Air Force Junior ROTC, we not only want to give our thanks to the first responders, active and reserve military, and all who have contributed to saving lives and protecting our country when most needed, but to the officers, EMS, hospital staff, and firefighters within our own local community who have agreed to be interviewed. An additional thank you to the active or reserve military who have sent in a short video giving their thoughts on 9/11. For many, 9/11 is a hard subject to talk about because of the loss and vulnerability we endured, but as Americans, we pulled together as a nation and put towards the greater cause. And though times are currently tough, and as we face trials of our own, let's not forget the hope that we nurture as Americans. And if we learn nothing from this tragedy, we learn that life is short and that there is no time for hate. And though it has been 19 years since the attack, and regardless if it has been 1 or 50 years, we will always remember. You are gone, but not forgotten. No day shall erase you from the memory of time.
On behalf of the Delta flight, we firstly want to thank the Coast Guard for their immediate response in flooding the New York shores with boats. We also thank the Air Force for quickly protecting our skies from any other potential attacks.
We also want to give our thanks to the Marine Corps for their assistance to the people of New York.
On behalf of EchoFlight, we'd like to give thanks to the Navy for deploying USNS Comfort.
On behalf of Foxtrot Flight, we'd like to thank the Army for their contributions and efforts to the people of New York during 9/11.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Lastly, we would like to thank the 8,000 plus New York National Guard soldiers who were mobilized by the end of the day, which assisted first responders.